Welcome back to the AB Scale Project. I'm Krager, and this is Alpha Bravo, and today we're starting a big day with a big box. This is the Haslab Deathsaurus, and he looks really cool. This front art is really neat. My box was a little damaged, but the contents were okay. So this side you got accessories. This side you got product shots. This side you got Transformers Victory. And the top you've got more Deathsaurus Victory. And on the bottom you got legal. You'll just have to take my word for that. So, this is probably the best part of the packaging. The rest of it is pretty no frills. So, we're not going to get into it. We're just going to go to the bot himself. And here's the Emperor of Destruction himself. And he's a really big guy, as you can see next to Alpha Bravo here. But he is cool. I mean, he is full of G1 glory. The wings articulate up and back and whatever you want to do with them. The arms are fully articulated. Although, if you want the front butterfly, you have to be careful of that untabbing. But he'll go there. The hands are actually turn, and the first two and last two fingers are split. So, yeah. But otherwise, lots of articulation. Ab crunch a little bit. You don't want to do that with the breast lying in. But, yeah, all the way back, all the way back. Look at all that stuff. Yeah. Ankle tilt. All good. And let's get him adjusted. He stands pretty well. Go ahead and give him a spin here. And you see they even tidied away the chicken head pretty well. So it looks good. So we'll bring him about. And this is just really neat. All right. Now we'll start the long process of the accessories. First, we'll start off with the Micromasters Pipo and Boater. And they look really good. These are, of course, brand new molds. Let's see if we can get a good shot of Pipo there. Looks really good. And one thing about these is that they do not become weapons. So they are not pocket target masters like the Micromasters were originally for the new Siege line. Get a shot of Boater there. If this wasn't so expensive, I'd be tempted to buy another one and repaint him as the Bat Boat. Anyway. It's pretty neat. They're both really good molds. Really fun. Let's go ahead and look at them next to the rest of their squad. Bring in Holly and Fire, and you get the full rescue squad. So that's pretty neat that they threw those two in at the last minute, and so that we could have our complete victory squad. So, let's take a look at them in the vehicle mode. And here we have Pipo and Boater in their vehicle modes, and they look really good. Let's get some focus on there. Really tiny ambulance. Little wide rims there, but not too bad. And we'll get Boater up here. I really like Boater. I think they did a lot of work on his alt mode. He looks really good. Very much like a patrol cruiser boat. It's really neat. Alright. Let's bring in their friends. And they do look really good together. Now, I will say, since they're brand new molds, they actually did a real good job on them. They don't suffer from the same problems as the Siege molds with, legs wanting to fall off while you're transforming. They're actually really solid toys. So, I definitely recommend them. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap them up. So, are these our new IDW G1 Pipo and Boater? Yeah, because they're just updates of the original Micromasters, and like I said in my Micromasters episode, unless you do a custom, for the most part, you're stuck with just the newer Siege versions, or in this case, the Deathsaurus versions, for an upgrade. But they're still really fun toys. Alright, let's go to the next accessory. Next up is Eagle Chest, and he looks really good. Bring him up here. Really neat. The mouth opens and closes. Posability on the feet. Has a tail. Wings can, flap down. They don't go any further up, but they will, flap down. So not too bad. Overall, pretty neat. And of course, he can become a blaster for Deathsaurus. Just flip that out. Flip in the wings. Then the tail. And he becomes a blaster. And Deathsaurus has the Masterpiece mounting system, so it's not 5mm pegs, it's that side peg. And it fits pretty securely. Just get in there past the thumb, lock it in, and the stuff is pretty tight. So it's really cool. And then of course, this being a breast animal, if I can pop it out of the hand, just take all this, fold it all up. There we go. Fold it all up and right side up. It can go into his chest. Now if you stick it in too far like that, you can just lift up the chicken head, press it forward. This is also how you get him out, by the way. And done. And that's what Deathsaurus looks like with the eagle breast in. Now, and that's pretty cool. So, and the next one, we have the tiger chest. He looks pretty neat. The head moves around, the jaw opens and closes, although it's really stiff on mine. Articulated legs. So, it's, tail, whatever, the wings can flap. So yeah, he's pretty neat. And then he can also become a bow and arrow, which I'm going to go ahead and come back for that because that's a little bit of an involved transformation. So we'll be right back. And we're back with Tiger Chest in his bow and arrow mode. Looks pretty neat. Now he doesn't mount in the hand. He actually mounts with these two tabs into these two slots. And then of course we have the bow. We'll need an arrow, which is another accessory. Comes with this arrow. That's pretty much only used for this. So you put the small tab into the top of the tiger beast. You have to make sure you swing out the arm enough that the bow and arrow fits with tabbing in the slots. And then again, that joint that I warned you about, and you press that in again. That joint I warned you about untabbing, yeah, it still likes to untab, so you got to kind of finesse it out. There we go. You can get, let's poke that thing back forward again. And you get the bow and arrow shooting action. It actually doesn't shoot. It's just a nice static pose. All right. So we'll take him off there. And of course, the final thing he does is become a chest animal. So we'll flip that back up, flip that back, put these in, then it can go right over eagle chest and clamp in. And there we go. There's your full, the full effect there. So that's really cool. All right. We'll go on to the next accessory. Next up, we got his shield. This, of course, is just his tail folded up, but it's pretty neat. And this, it comes with this little mount thing, and basically however you want to hold it, if you want it to hold it in his hand, you attach it like that. If you want to pack it away, you put it on like that. And that's also how you will mount it to his shoulder here. This little 5mm port pops out, and you can stick it right on there so he can carry his shield on his shoulder. So that's pretty neat. So, but that's about it for the shield. Next up, he comes with Jetfire's Blastafix in pink. So, or magenta, I guess technically, but still. He comes with those, so those are really neat. Other things he comes with is a sword. Very wicked scimitar here. And again, it can tab into the hands, and that tabs in pretty securely. And you can also store it on his back. You got this little piece right here that this can tab onto. So we can hold that. Pretty neat. He also has a mace and chain, or a flail. Pretty cool. And again, this tabs into the hand. And then the recommended storage for that is just drop it into the chicken head. And then you have the living metal destroying gun. So that's pretty cool. And this thing actually does pack down to a smaller size, for storage. But you can flip it out for the full effect. Flip that down. These things can move up and down to show the living gunness. And you can put that, we'll straighten out the arm here. Put that into his hand. Tap it in and grip. There we go. Fully armed and fully armored Deathsaurus. Alright, there's still one more important accessory, and we'll show that next. And the last accessory is his flight stand, and this thing is really cool for reasons you will see here in a sec. But for right now, this is the standard stand configuration where it has the peg that you can put into his butt just like you could Star Saber, and then pose him and then whatever flight pose you want. And then you can take that off. Get the store standing again. You can pull this off just like you could with the Star Saber. Stick down like that. And there's a little cradle piece here that comes separate and comes off. That cradles the crotch in the Space Death Chicken mode. So you can get a flying pose out of that. Now, that is not the most important thing that this flight stand does. The most important thing is you get the throne, and this thing is wicked. I mean, it looks just so cool. I mean, turn that guy around. That just looks cool. You got the kind of claws there, Decepticon symbol. It's just neat. But the fun is just beginning with it, because we can put eagle chest up here. You're kind of blind to having them in, but there you go. Put eagle chest up here. Spin that thing around. Take your mace. Tab the handle in over here. And then there's a 5mm port on the other side. But you can tab in up here. Take your arrow. And you can put it on either side of the chain, actually. But tab in the arrow. And get things aligned. Yep. Helps if I'm not too far up. There we go. Put then the arrow. Take the living metal gun in its storage mode and stick it right where it's molded in, and it sticks down further than the chair. But they actually have the molded in spot for it, so that's neat. Take the sword. And take the sword and put it on the correct side there. And that tabs in. Take the shield. Put the shield on there, and there's all the weapons stowed. Then you can flip it around here. Take your Deathsaurus, put him in a seated position, and just kind of stick him in there. And that is just cool. So, probably the most important accessory of the entire kit. This is really cool, and it's probably how I'm going to display him right there, because that's just cool. And plus, it has great storage for everything, so you can't really complain about it. Alright, let's go to comparisons. First off, here he is with Victory Saber, his eternal rival. I've put, some add-on kits to my Victory Saber, so it looks a lot cooler now. So, but you can see you have to be in the full Victory Saber to be the same size. So that's really cool. Really keeping with the Victory theme. And then we'll bring in the current winner. The Planet X is Minios. You can see, yeah, he's actually quite a bit bigger. Minios was big, but he's bigger. And that's in keeping with the G1 scale, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then just for fun, bring in my custom Mesmerelle. See, that she's really tiny compared. Alright, let's go ahead and let's look at his Space Chicken mode. And here he is in a Space Chicken mode. I'm sure it's supposed to be a Dragon Griffin thing, but we'll call it the Space Chicken. It looks very G1. One thing I thought was pretty cool is that the toes actually go in and out. So that's pretty neat. It's pretty good. He stands really well. So yeah, not really a lot to say about that. I guess these don't flip up there, so still see his crotch back there, but otherwise it looks pretty good. Alright, we'll do a quick comparison with the Planet X. The Planet X with the die cast kind of has to sit back on its tail, and I had to take out the thing so you could see it on the screen. But you can see two different aesthetics completely. You can tell this is more of the IDW look, where this is the G1. They both still look really good. This one is still a lot heavier with all that die cast. But yeah. Let's go to our final consideration. So is this our new IDW G1 Deathsaurus? I am definitely going to say G1, because he is G1 as much as you're going to get. And you can keep in mind that the Mastermind Creations DZF is going to be the same size as Minios here, so this, I think, is more keeping with the G1 scale. So this is definitely our G1 Deathsaurus. Now, as far as IDW, Minios is still our IDW, because they did change the character model, and Planet X went with that character model for theirs. So for G1, you want the brand new Haslab Deathsaurus. For your IDW, keep your Planet X or your MMC if you got the MMC version. So, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for joining us today on the AB Scale Project. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that bell, and I'll see y'all later.